Now we have seen up to this infectious agents, the means of spread. Say now I am a healthy individual, the infectious agent has already entered into my body. Now what to do after that? The infectious agents can enter. Till now what we have seen is the infectious agents, what are they? And they have entered the body, the means of spread. Now after they have entered my body, my healthy body, what are its post effects? So this is the third beat of that unit, infectious diseases, organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Manifestations means how you can see the diseases to work. Manifestation means how you can see the diseases to work. Say the microorganism has entered through my nose or nasal passage. So what is the possible place it will go? It will go into the lungs. Those diseases which enters mainly through lungs, mainly through the nose and affects the lungs, like tuberculosis. If it enters the nose, the probable place is lungs. Say it enters through my mouth through my food or water. When it enters through my mouth through food or water, it can go to my gut. Gut is my alimentary canal. Typhoid is a disease whose bacterium enters through that of the mouth and goes and affects the gut. If instead of gut, if it is going to liver, it can be jaundice. So what I mean to prove here is, on the basis of the organ through which it is entering, it is affecting the rest organ system. Through nose it is entering, the probable place is lungs. Through mouth is entering, then it can go to my gut, my alimentary canal, example is typhoid, or it can affect my liver, example is jaundice, virus that causes jaundice. Say it has entered through the sexual organs, through the male sexual organ or female sexual organ, that is the sexually transmitted disease, like AIDS we have discussed. So they will go to the lymph nodes. Lymph nodes. These lymph nodes are spread through all over our body. So that virus causing the AIDS, the virus is HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. The virus causing AIDS is HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. So this virus target the entire body. To target the entire body, it needs either blood vessels, because blood vessels runs through the entire body, or the lymph nodes. Lymph nodes spreads to the entire body and is the main element of the immune system. Immune system means the system of our body that fights with the infectious agents or that fights with the diseases. So in a whole, this AIDS HIV virus affects our immune system. So sexual organs they entering, then affecting the lymph nodes, that is spreading all over the body, affecting the immune system, example is AIDS. Or it can enter through a mosquito bite like Anopheles. After entering through the mosquito bite, it goes to the liver and then to the red blood cells, example is malaria. Or it can enter through the mosquito bite, go to the brain, the example is brain fever or Japanese encephalitis. Japanese encephalitis. Okay, see the word. Itis means inflammation. Itis means inflammation, swelling, and encephalon is the name of the two segments of the brain. Encephalon is the name of the two segments of the brain. So encephalitis means inflammation of encephalon, that is brain fever. So let me recapitulate once again. Depending on the type or the way the microorganism or the infectious agent is entering in our body, the definite organ will be affected. If it is entering through nose, it will affect our lungs, tuberculosis. If it is entering through mouth, it can go to two places, gut or liver, affecting affective disease, typhoid and jaundice. If it is entering through our sexual organs like AIDS, its main motto is to disable the entire immune system. What is the immune system? The system that is defensive and helps our body to fight with the disease. That is fighting system, WBCs, lymphocyte, that is the name of WBC. We all know WBC or lymphocyte. So it affects the lymph node. Since lymph node starts from our brain and ends in our toes, entire part of the body has lymph nodes. So it affects all over the body. That is, in a whole, it affects our immune system. Then you have through mosquito bite, if it is entering, then it can go to liver. From liver it enters the RBCs, example is malaria, or it can go to our brain, example is brain fever. Now the question is, what is the difference if it is going to lungs, or if it is going to liver, or if it is going to brain? There is. On the basis of the type of the organ or the tissue it is affecting, the symptoms are manifested. As I have told you, manifestation means the depiction of the symptoms. So depending on the type of the organ or the tissue the particular microorganism is affecting, the particular symptom is manifested. Let us see how. So depending on the type of the organ the microorganism is affecting, you decide what type of symptom it will show. If it is affecting our lungs, as in case of tuberculosis, causes are cough and cold. Mainly all the disease that targets our lungs, whose target organ is lungs, cough and cold is a common symptom. Okay, cough and cold, when it comes, the doctor predicts that it may be a lung disease. When it is liver, there will be yellowish skin, the nails will be depigmented, the eyes will have yellow color, all the symptoms of jaundice. Liver, when is the target organ, jaundice is the probable symptom or the disease. Jaundice is a disease whose symptoms are yellowish skin, bloodlessness, then you have no paleness in our nails. So these are all the symptoms. When it is brain, the symptoms are headache, you will have a headache, or you have dizziness. Dizziness means when you will feel like sleeping. Then you can have swirling, that is head is swirling, rotation of the head. So headache, dizziness and swirling can be the symptoms for when the brain is the target organ. So just I am telling you 3 instances that depending on the type of the target organ, the symptoms also varies. Now there are some general symptoms like inflammation. When some microorganism enter your body, it is the normal behavior of the immune system of the body. I told you immune system, once again I am telling, the system which acts as a defense and fights against the infectious agents. So these immune system recruits numerous cells, recruits numerous body cells and signals it to go to the site of infection. Say from here the mosquito bite has occurred, so the body cell will be told by the immune system, go near this site. Say this site, say this white dot, I have the mosquito bite. So all the cells nearby will be said by the immune system that you go to this site of bite, and there will be an inflammation or there will be a swelling, and it will be accompanied by some redness. The swelling portion will be a bit red, and there will be heat, exothermic. You will feel some heat near the swelled portion. So inflammation is characterized by 3 things: swelling, redness of the skin, and a bit feel of sense of heat or warmth. So this is one of the general symptom that is shown by the body as a mark of immune to the disease. Again, a fever, high temperature is one of the very common symptom that is manifested for our body. Why there is fever is beneficial, you know. Why is fever beneficial? Because when the temperature of the body rises due to the entry of foreign microorganism, the microorganism majorly dies, because the microorganism cannot tolerate more than their tolerable temperature. They have a certain range of temperature they can tolerate. If it exceeds, then they die, and fever is marked by high temperature of the body. So fever in disguise is a good way to fight with the microorganisms. So it is also one of the common symptom. Apart from the symptoms like which is specific to the tissues and organs, there are some common symptoms. Now there is a disease we have discussed, that is AIDS. I told you about this disease, AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This disease is caused by the virus which is called human immunodeficiency virus. That is, it is an infectious disease. Now I have already discussed how it spreads. Very good. It spreads by the process of sexual contact or from mother to child, or from blood of an infected person to blood of a normal person. So this HIV virus, again I have told you, it goes through the sexual contact and defects what? Our lymph nodes. Defects our lymph nodes. And lymph nodes is the unit of our immunity system. The immune response of our body arises from the lymph nodes. Also, the lymph nodes is spread throughout our body. From brain to toes, all throughout our body, like blood vessels, lymph nodes are also spread. And it also unit of immunity. So in one way, the HIV virus is doing what? It is trying to paralyze the immunity system of our body. Okay, now what do you mean by syndrome? Syndrome means collection of symptoms. When many symptoms manifest together, it is called as syndrome. Okay, so this immunity defecting virus does what? When it enters the body, though there is a tissue specificity, that is they affect the lymph nodes, tissue specificity, but it causes general symptoms like common cough and cold may turn into pneumonia. What is happening? Common cold can be turned to pneumonia. Means from a very minor disease, such a major disease can come up. Common cold is a very minor disease, but such a major disease can come up. Similarly, it can make small stomach infection into diarrhea with blood loss. So what is it doing is, this aids, though specific to lymph nodes, but it is showing general symptoms by paralyzing the immune system and at a large manifesting itself in a very large way, like small common cough and cold turning to so heinous pneumonia, small stomach aches turning to so heinous type of diarrhea with blood loss. And ultimately, till now, there is no medication for AIDS, and a person suffering from AIDS dies. And a person suffering from AIDS dies. When first time AIDS was detected, doctors were not able to understand because it was showing so many symptoms. And rather than this HIV virus killing the person, these diseases killed. Rather than HIV virus killing the person, the diseases, the side diseases, common cold turning to pneumonia, small stomachache turning to diarrhea with blood loss, very small minor symptoms turning to so large manifested symptoms that those symptoms are sufficient enough to paralyze the person and finally kill. The last point in this part is the variation of infection in individual is depending upon the number of microorganisms it is entering in our body. Number of microorganisms or infectious agents decides the intensity of infection. Okay, so more the number, infection also large. So more is the number of microorganisms or more is the number of infectious agents, the infection is also more, that is large. Lesser the number of microorganisms entering into the body, infection is smaller, or smaller you can say, infection is less serious, less severe. More is the number, more is the infection. So here also our immunity works into play. The more stronger the immune system of our body, it will be able to kill more microbes, infection will be less. I repeat again, more stronger the immune system of our body, it will be able to kill the microbes and infection will be less. Lesser stronger our immune system is, microbes will be able to defeat our immune system and proliferate the infection more. So that means number of microorganisms is related to the severity of infection. Strength of the immune system is also related to the severity of infection. More strong immune system, less infection. Less strong immune system, more infection. So this is all about the third unit of the lesson, that is infectious disease. We shall now turn to principles of treatment. Till now we have come across the infectious agents, the means by which the infectious agents spread, and the target specific and organ specific manifestations of that particular type of infectious agents. Now we shall see infectious agents has entered. I am now diseased, but I cannot live to die. So what are the way I can be treated or medicated or seen after, so that I may combat those infectious agents. So there are two ways of treatment. One is I can reduce the effects of the disease. That is, in one way I can eliminate the symptoms. And the second way is kill the cause of the disease or the root of the disease. The root of the disease to be killed. In the first channel of treatment or the first pathway of treatment, I can reduce the effect of the disease by doing various ways. I can try to reduce my fever, I can try to reduce my swelling, I can take bed rest, continuous rest and sleep, and gain some good potential to work again, because sleeping gives us restore our energy. So I can just combat the disease by reducing my symptoms, that is the signs of my disease, in one way. In another way, what can I do is I can eliminate the disease from its root. That is the more important one. What is it actually? Say I can reduce the symptom, but the root or the bacteria or the virus or the microorganism, the infectious agent is still there. So after few days it will again manifest itself. That is not the solution to my problem. So now what will I do is I will try to nullify that infectious agent from the root. And what can I do for that? I can take the medicines. As we have already discussed, there are 5 classes of microorganisms that cause diseases: bacteria, virus, fungi, worm, and yes, protozoans. So these 5 type of infectious agents are having 5 different type of biochemical pathways. What they have? Different types of biochemical pathway. What we have already discussed for antibiotics, you can put it over here. Antibiotics can disturb the cell wall formation of bacteria after it entered to our body, thus causing the bacteria to die. So all these classes of infectious agents have its own biochemical pathway, and by virtue of which they can be stopped by that particular medicine. The medicine or the panacea should be specific to the biochemical pathway. The medicine used to stop the bacteria cannot be used to stop the fungi. Similarly, the medicine used to stop the worms cannot be used to stop the protozoans. All the different type of microorganism or the infectious agents have their own biological or biochemical pathway of living, and accordingly the medicines have to be prescribed. Till now, only one class of microorganism has not been able to be very much combated with the disease, and that is virus. Antiviral medicines are not yet that much effective. Why? Because of 2 reasons. Because virus, when enters the host cell or the living body of the infected or of the healthy individual, uses the biochemical pathway or the cellular pathway of that individual. What this means is, when I am taking penicillin, it is stopping the cell growth development of bacteria, thus killing it. But it is not affecting my cell, because my cell has no cell wall. But what virus does is, it is non-living outside the host. When it enters the host, it totally takes up the biochemical metabolic pathway of that particular host. And since it takes my cells, so definitely when I will do something to infect that virus, it will indirectly infect my cell, because my cell is using the same biochemical pathway the virus is using. So viral diseases, antiviral medicines for the viral diseases are not yet that much effective, because the virus employs the biochemical pathway of the host, thus making it confusing for the medicine to act. The medicine can also act against the host itself, thus killing the host. So antiviral medicines are not yet that effective. But now, with the advent of science, many antiviral medicines have been found, which is very specific to the virus, very particular to the virus, not affecting the host cell, like diseases like HIV/AIDS are in control due to the medicine. So what we have discussed is, we can try to reduce the side effect, that is the symptom, or we can directly kill the disease cause of the disease by having medicines. Medicines are specific to the biochemical pathway of the microorganism. One medicine for one particular pathway cannot be used for the another pathway. Pathway are specific to the type of infectious agents, and that is all about the principle of treatment.